Welcome to Brews and Boxing, your go-to source for all boxing news. Our weekly podcast is up and running. As you can see, we are missing one, but that's all right. We two-manned it before, Jimmy James, and I am excited to do it again with you. Filthy Rich has the week off, so Merry Christmas to him as he's getting his Christmas vacation started early. It's his favorite time of year. Once again, my name is Raider Live. We got a lot of news to get to this week and some reviews of some big fights. But with me, as always, is the one, the only, the judge, Jimmy James. Judge, how are you?
Doing well. Weeks and weeks of fights, ending the year on a real strong note after a long layoff for quite a long time. So a lot of stuff to go over this week, a lot of stuff to review. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff, including a couple of your favorite guys coming up here later. So we'll make sure to get to those. You do have a lot of favorite guys. No Jojo Diaz talked this week, though. So you got that going for you. So, all right, time to pop the beer and get this thing started. So Merry Christmas to you, brother, as we are off next week. And cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, no eggnog for the first time in like 2 weeks. That's awesome. All right, let's on with the show. All right, Brews and News to kick off here. No Filthy Rich, James, so it's all you today. You all prepared for that? You all ready to drop in some knowledge on these folks?
Oh, I'm ready to drop some knowledge and not get challenged by it. So it sounds like a great time.
Oh, not get challenged. That hurts me a little bit, but that's fair. I won't challenge you. I will just sit you
agree
right
with
up.
me, man. That's it. It means Rich is always disagreeing with me all the time.
That's true. That's why you guys are awesome counterparts. Well, the first one I know you've been looking forward to because you texted me early in the morning and you said, we got to get in on this. Amir Khan and Cal Brook, the fight that you said no one would care about, sold out in 10 minutes. 10 minutes it took them to sell that out. Just for some things here, it took The Boss 12 minutes to sell out over there, Bruce Springsteen. The Beatles sold out in like 13 minutes. Kell Brook and Amir Khan are obviously bigger than the Beatles. So 600 seconds, 10 minutes. What do you think of England loving their two heroes, Amir Khan and Kell Brook? Are they going to be knighted after this, Sir Khan and Sir Brook?
Oh, God, no, they will not. If they are knighted after this, then that is a tarnish against the whole knighthood. But I am okay, I'm going to start off by saying, one, I have no basis against any other fight, how fast those have sold out before. So 600 seconds, 10 minutes seems pretty quick. There was some statements in the show before, like, was this still, this would have been a bigger fight 5 years ago or yada, yada, yada. And
I mean, 5 minutes.
This thing seems like if it sold out in 10 minutes, either they got the price wrong or everybody is just definitely still excited to see this fight. So, I mean, props to the UK for selling it out, finally getting something that they've wanted for quite a few years, and hopefully nothing happens to stop it. And yeah, that's just crazy. I can't
imagine anything's going to stop it with that much money for those two guys. That's probably going to be their biggest payday for the rest of their careers, I imagine.
I've seen crazier things, man.
Well, did you get your tickets? I mean, you texted me and I couldn't get in. It kept freezing on me. Did you get the tickets for us there or not?
No, I'm not allowed to leave the country.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. All right. Let's so we're looking forward to that. I guess we'll just have to buy it at your house and watch it on the big screen. That's what we'll do.
That works for me. We can do that.
All right, let's move on to the next bit of news here. Ryan Garcia says he doesn't think Devin Haney can beat him based upon Devin Haney's most recent performances. So Ryan Garcia got a point because Devin Haney did not look good in his last fight. We all agreed to that a couple, 2 weeks ago. Devin Haney was not overpowering like we all thought he should have been. So Ryan Garcia got a point. Should he be on the show with us here to say you guys are right or wrong? Or what do you guys think? What do you think, I should say?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to argue against Garcia saying that Haney looked, I don't want to say subpar, but he definitely wasn't he wasn't impressive, right?
No.
I can agree. I definitely agree with that. Now, for him to say that he's just going to jump in and just be better than Haney, well, I think Garcia needs to get back in the ring first. We've all seen what ring rust does to people. Obviously, Canelo has also questioned his commitment to the sport. So I think he has definitely an opportunity. I don't think Ryan Garcia is a bad fighter by any means. However, does he have what it takes to beat Haney? Haney in the last 2 fights, probably. He has a very good shot at it. If Haney can somehow build his stamina up to go 12 rounds, then I think Garcia might have some issues, because he did show some vulnerabilities for the first time in his career in his last fight anyway. So it'll be interesting for sure. But I mean, Haney said that he's trying to fight, what he wanted to fight Cruz first, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
So, that doesn't excite either way. Like, Garcia just needs to get back in the ring, is plain and simple. We need to see what he does after his win, see if he gets better or worse, and kind of go from there. But that's kind of my take.
Well, it wouldn't be anything in the news if we didn't have one of the Garcias talking about. Maybe we'll talk about all 3 coming up, I guess. But all right, I don't know. I'd still lead Devin Haney's way, even though he did not look good. I mean, but you can have a bad fight and he still won. I mean, let's not jump the gun here. He still won. He just, I don't know. It was rusty, I guess. It was not what we expected, I guess. But it wasn't like he was terrible. It's just he was not dominant. Is what I felt.
Well, look. Obviously, you understand the opponent. I thought he would have dominated his opponent. The fact that he didn't dominate his opponent more, that's what throws me off. It doesn't make sense. Like, his last 4 fights haven't really looked that great. If you want to even go further back than that, but it's just, I thought he was going to do better against JoJo. It just wasn't the case. So I don't know. I think it's a lot closer. It's definitely close on paper. I think visually, I think it's still a lot closer than most people would think.
That's always you underestimating Jojo Diaz. That's your king.
He still lost.
True, but he was a warrior. We'll give him that.
No, I can't argue that.
All right, let's move on to the next one. The Filipino Flash is in the news. Nonito Donaire. He had one of my favorite kinds of knockouts, a body shot knockout in the 4th round against Raymond Gaballo. And he said he wants a rematch with Inoue afterwards. He gave Inoue the biggest scare of Inoue's career. He lost by unanimous decision, but it was very close on the cards. One of the judges had it at 114, 113, 116, 111, and then Octavio Rodriguez had it at 117, 109. But probably the most likely to scare Inoue. Is that correct in your opinion? I mean, he is 39 years old. But he did look very impressive in his last fight. Not exactly the best, maybe level of competition. But what do you think? I'm curious to hear what you think.
Well, level of competition, you don't get much better at this weight class than Nonito Donaire. He's been around for a very long time.
I'm talking about Gaballo. Or Gaballo was not like that victory. It's not the highest of caliber opponents that he just beat. Is what I'm saying.
It's not like Gaballo was a bad opponent by any means. No, like, he was still undefeated, with like a 85% knockout percentage. Granted, he didn't have the resume, but either way, I still thought it was a good opponent for Donaire. However, Donaire was of late in his last 2 fights, knocking out Ubali and then Gaballo, he's like ageless. It's like he's getting like hitting his prime, which is super weird, because he seems to just he doesn't seem to really scale back. He should be scaling back right now, and he's not. And he gave, I think in 2019 against Inoue, it was considered one of the fights of the year at the time. So if there's a rematch in here, because I think Inoue just beat some dude. I don't even remember who it was, like last weekend or something in Japan too, which I didn't even realize he was fighting. So shame on me, but I think Donaire definitely gives him problems. I think that would be a great fight to make, and I would love to see a rematch on that 100%, because Donaire ain't got much time left, and if he's going to do something, this is what he's got to do. It would be a great fight.
Well, Donaire's Benjamin Button in the thing. His career's got this late surge. His last 2 knockouts in the 4th round. It was his last fight for Inoue was on the 14th against Iran Depian. I don't know who that is. Some
Japanese 2 days
fighter.
ago.
Yeah, some Japanese fighters 12-2. He knocked him out in the 8th round. But that's probably the best fight he's going to get in that division. Can't think of anyone else that Inoue just doesn't steamroll right now. I mean, Donaire is hot. Fight him while he's hot, make some money, right? So,
well, get the rematch. It's going to be. I mean, I would pay for that fight.
Well,
I wouldn't need the undercard either. Like, I would pay to see that fight because it's going to be a brawl.
Yeah, I'll probably be in Japan though, so it'll probably be at like 11 in the morning here. But hey, we can wake up early for that. No big.
Hey man, I watch UK fights at 1 in the afternoon, so I don't care.
Fair enough. All right, last bit of news is Conor Benn says about Brook. Adrien Broner doesn't want to fight him, or that fight doesn't happen. He would love to fight any of the Garcias except for Ryan. He wants to fight Danny or Mikey or any other Garcia that they can find out there, I'm sure. Conor Benn, what do you think? Calling out the Garcias if about Brook Adrien Broner fight doesn't happen.
It's interesting. So I watched Benn's fight against Algieri last week, and he looked good. He definitely looked good, and it was a wicked shot to knock out Algieri. I don't know if maybe Algieri didn't have any business being in the ring at that point, but either way, it was a good shot. He did exactly what he should have done if he is touting that he is championship caliber at this stage. So he definitely has been untested. After the fight, he kept saying that he was ready for big name fights, and he heard him say that he's ready for a championship fight. Now, with that being said, the fact that Broner is the one that's in the discussion for his next fight makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. At welterweight, doesn't make sense. Right?
It makes 0 sense to me.
So, I mean,
you can get Broner to go over to the UK too. I mean,
probably. I mean, he's broke. He'll get however he can get money, man.
I'm going to loan him the plane ticket.
But I mean, like Mikey Garcia, is he still fighting at 147? I thought he might have been going back down to 140. I guess I don't really recall that. Danny Garcia's already said he's going to 154 or staying at 154, so he's not coming down here. So Ben would have to move up or have a catch weight. So it's very odd, I guess, to me, just because Broner's a name doesn't seem like that would be a very good draw. Doesn't seem like that. Like, I would have rather seen the Algieri fight than the Broner fight. So, and he's already beaten Algieri. So it just doesn't make much sense to me. But if that's the path that Eddie Hearn wants to take Conor Benn, then so be it. I just think that there's better stuff out there for him, especially given the welterweight division. So,
well, you know what they're setting this up for, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious. He wants him to fight Adrien Broner, and then he says the championship fight is coming up next. So you know who he's going to be fighting. He's fighting the winner of Amir Khan and Cal Brook, fighting for the pride of England. Why wouldn't he fight that? That would obviously be the next fight, right? That's the career fight, the fight for England. It's true. They're all at welterweight in England. Well, that makes the most sense, doesn't it?
The fight for England is Cal Brook against Amir Khan. That's the fight for England. This is
I know. This is, and then whoever wins that has to fight Conor Benn.
Oh, this is like the fight for Wales or the Rock of Gibraltar or something. Like, that's not, you're getting the scraps at that point. That's just crazy. I don't know. I completely forgot that they're fighting at 147. So I mean, why don't we just make it like a Royal Rumble, right? Ben or Brook win, or Brook or Khan. One of those guys wins, and then Ben just runs in and then keeps fighting the next guy. And then it's just like nonstop.
It's a triple threat match. How about we just have our boxing's first triple threat match where they're all three in the ring at the same time? If only Filthy Rich were here to give us some wrestling background.
Oh, he's probably just rolling right now going, why are you guys talking about this? This is a terrible idea.
Make it an elimination chamber style match where you put all three of them in a cage and then they randomly open the door.
Yeah, have the belt at the top. Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know how you climb with those gloves on.
Okay, Adrien Broner Algieri, Connor Benn, Kell Brook, and Amir Khan all in the elimination chamber. A door opens up every 20 minutes. Let's go.
Oh my God.
I love it.
So just since that got way off topic real fast, if out of those three guys, if I wanted to see Connor Benn fight somebody, I'd rather have him fight Mikey Garcia. I think that would be his best test at 147 as opposed to Broner or Danny Garcia, in my opinion.
No Amir Khan or no Kell Brook?
No, I'm going off those three guys.
All right, well
what do you think of those three guys?
I mean, probably Mikey, but I just don't like watching Adrien Broner. I mean, it's just no fun to watch. I really like my idea of the winner of Kell Brook and Amir Khan. Hopefully Connor Benn won't, break Kell Brook's face a fourth time or third time or whatever it is, but with his power. But I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's an English kind of show here today, so we got a lot of Brits in talk. Actually, we cover the world. We were like, we went from the Far East to the West in America. We did it all.
Yeah, we're all
where in the world is Jimmy James.
Yeah, where am I right now?
That's the news this week. We got some reviews to talk about coming up here and some previews as well. So let's move on with the show. Cruising reviews time, Jimmy James. Two big fights we watched this weekend that we predicted the last week. We had Bivol Salamov and Loma Commey, but we're going to start with Bivol Salamov, which we predicted last week would be a boring, long fight because in Soviet Russia, a boxing match punches you. That's what we do. And it was exactly as we predicted. Bivol wins by a decision after a long, boring snooze fest, like watching a baseball game on a lazy Sunday afternoon is what this was like. So why don't you, without falling asleep, give us a little details about the Bivol versus Salamov fight.
Oh, I did watch it.
I said, don't fall asleep.
I know, right? So, well, first of all, I got to correct myself because I also said, I didn't say, I guaranteed last week that this fight was going to be in the evening.
Yeah. I asked you about that too.
At like in the morning.
Yeah. It was like 10 in the morning, right?
So that's when it started. Yeah. All the stuff. So yeah, I was definitely off. I mean, I think the whatever, it doesn't matter. I just want to say my bad.
Yeah.
Very confident on that.
I asked you a few times last week too.
Yeah, I get it. That's why I'm correcting it now. All right. So relax over there. Now,
fair.
The fight, yeah, like I said, it was I anticipated it being a very boring fight, and that's exactly what it was. It was very slow, not a lot of action. Neither fighter really took control per se. There wasn't anything
per se
really crazy happening. Like Salamov had a height and a reach advantage, but didn't really utilize it as I thought he would. I thought he was going to be a better opponent, and it just didn't turn out that way, which was a little disappointing. But like I said, it was definitely, unfortunately, how I predicted, and it was whatever. Either way, it does prove that Bivol still is very good at light heavyweight. He is going to be the better boxer of this division, I believe. And I mean, he's going to have to get some bigger fights here besides his last three, which is Castillo, Craig Richards, and Salamov. So hopefully his next fight is against somebody bigger, maybe a Joe Smith Jr. rematch. Or could be, against Beterbiev if he that way, or if Canelo comes up and tries to do that, tries to take over the 175, maybe that happens. But either way, Bivol, Salamov, very boring. Bivol dominated, not flashy, outpointed him, and that's pretty much that.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the first round, the sixth round, the 10th round without the number on there, you wouldn't know what round it was for the most part, because it was. I tried watching it twice, fell asleep twice. It was like watching baseball,
and there was no real damage to anyone's face. Like it was.
No,
I know they were fighting and they were hitting each other.
It was like Olympic, is what it was.
It was just, it was unfortunate, but.
Sorry to our Russian fans over there. I'm sure that's a big fight for you guys over there. But, yeah, here that was kind of boring. that side of the world did have a exciting fighter in Monsieur Lomachenko, your guy. You are the head of the Lomachenko fan club, of course, and he did make his name renowned as one of the top pound for pound fighters in this fight. Totally dominated Richard Commey. Pretty much start to finish, knocked him down in the 8th, I want to say. Is that right?
7th round.
7th? I knew it was in there somewhere. Vicious knockdown. Thought it was going to be over. Commey just kind of cruised to the end. Rocky 1 style, just tried to stay up until the final bell. Loma looks like he's back. Interesting side note before we get into this fight, though, is I saw that Teofimo Lopez was in town and he went to Commey's hotel and gave him a hug and said, good fight you had there. So that was I just saw that today. Apparently he went to his hotel, called him down to the lobby, and they hugged. So it was weird, but apparently that's what it is. So Loma looks like he's back. I know you're all excited about that. So why don't you break it on down?
Well, yeah, Loma, Commey. Thought it was going to be a very vicious fight, right? Commey is definitely a warrior. Very good boxer, in my opinion, at this weight class. Got just a flash knockout against Lopez when he fought him a couple of fights ago. But this was, Loma came out and was essentially back to Lomachenko of old. His in and out, his 1, 2, 3 punches, his sidesteps, his feints, his everything he was doing. He was fantastic. And there was a point like it, I think we all stated, or at least most of us, I know I stated that he was going to get a TKO in the 11th. I thought it was going to go a lot further and get a knockout or a rough stoppage or something like that. In the 7th, he definitely rocked him a couple of times. And at one point, he actually looked at his corner, at Commey's corner, and was like, are you
waiting for the towel?
Are you seriously going to let this continue? And I think it was the round before that, at the end of the round, Loma was also beating up on Commey, and he stopped and said, you know what, just go back to your corner. It must have been like 10 seconds left or something like that, and said, I'm not gonna, like, go back to your corner, get your things in, and let's regroup to the next one. So you can consider that being kind of cocky. You can consider that being, gracious.
I think it was more respectful. I think he didn't want to hurt him.
Well,
I think he was hurting him bad.
In the 7th round, I get. In the 6th round, it was a little weird. But either way, in the 7th round, Lomachenko easily just could have just kept pressuring it. And I think it was Steve Willis was the ref, right? I think Willis would have stopped that fight, and he just decided to not let him go. I mean, I'm going to give props to Commey for the fact that he was able to recover and recoup after that round, and then go the next 5 rounds with no issues. Like, he seemed to be like recovered 100%, which wasn't expecting that at all. So either way, I give props. Didn't end up going to a unanimous decision for Loma. I don't see any. It was Loma of old, man. I'm really hoping that he can keep climbing this ladder and get some of these bigger fights that he was kind of, I don't want to say cheated out of, but he made a poor choice against Lopez and fought hurt. So hopefully this works. But
Commey is no pushover. I mean, that's a quality opponent to beat there. I mean, and I was it's too bad Filthy Rich isn't here, because I would have asked him. He's been talking before about you need to protect your fighter when it's no longer a chance of winning and stuff like that. And after that 7th round, I felt like Commey had no chance of winning this fight. Like, he was never going to damage Loma. Loma was never going to be hurt. Loma didn't feel like it didn't look like that Commey's punches had any effect on Loma for the most part, I thought.
Someone say my name. Hello.
Oh, we have a call in. Oh, gee.
What's going on? Someone say my name.
Who gave him the number? I thought we were unlisted.
Hey,
Filthy Rich. I thought you were on vacation. What's up, buddy?
No, I'm not on vacation. What's going on? Who said my name?
I said your name. I said I was surprised. I would have asked you about Loma or Commey's corner not throwing in the towel after the 7th round, because you've always talked about protecting your fighters when all is lost, and he wasn't going to beat Loma after that 7th round.
I think there was a level. You can't embarrass someone the way Lomachenko tried. I think Lomachenko tried to do that in this fight. He tried to embarrass Commey by doing that, and that was not going to happen. No one's going to throw in the towel because you tell them to throw in the towel. I don't think the ref would have done that either. I think it's not arrogance, but if
You don't think Commey was hurt after that knockdown?
No, I don't know. Lomachenko was clearly the smaller guy. I mean, he got caught with some shots, but I think this fight was probably supposed to go 12. But if you're gonna call the fight early, there's a level of arrogance in a fighter to say something like that. And if I'm the trainer of Commey, I'm not throwing in the towel because you tell me to. And the referee, I don't think will allow that either. I think the referee probably saw arrogance. It was Steve Willis, right? I think Willis should have clamped down on that. We knew these two guys were friends at the weigh-in. I mean, they hugged each other, they smiled, they looked like they had a good time. Lomachenko wasn't going to destroy this guy anyways. He didn't want to.
That's my question to you. They're friends and friendly like that. You think it was more cocky and arrogance than Lomachenko just wanting to protect him, knowing he hurt him and knowing that, that if it continues, he could put some serious, maybe permanent damage on him? Because if they're friends, the arrogance thing wouldn't really play. I could see that doing against like Lopez, but I don't. I think Loma was honestly trying to protect Commey. I didn't take it as arrogance.
You can't do that. The only time you would do something like that is if you really, I would think if you really hate the guy. But
I disagree. Like, I think he was worried. Like, I think he was genuinely worried. Like, you're going to let him,
right.
Like, he stopped. Like I said before, in the sixth round,
he
was
rounds.
fighting.
Right.
And then he stopped and told Commey, you know what, go back to your corner, regroup, and we'll fight in the seventh. That's what he said. He didn't like sit there and like give him the finger and then,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think
say I'm better than you, or anything. He's like, I don't want to hurt you no more.
Like, Commey was definitely not stable. He went almost all the way across the ring back to the ropes in that seventh round, which was like this for twice. He did it twice, which was after that Loma was looking at the thing. So I don't know how you could say that he would only do that if he hates the guy. That doesn't make any sense to me.
But this is the fight game. This is taking food off someone's plate. You beat the crap out of them until someone throws in the towel. You don't ask somebody to do that. You beat the snot out of them. I don't care what kind of friendship there is, or if there isn't, or if it's just staged or whatever. You go out there and you pound their face in until they want no more. And when it's all done, I mean, look at the Donaire fight. When that was all done with that body shot, Donaire gets on one knee and goes to his opponent and says what he has to say. Lomachenko could have done the same thing. Beat the crap out of your opponent, and when it's all said and done, you embrace and you show that kind of sportsmanship. But
I have to agree with James. I think he was showing the
should not have been thrown in. Do not throw the towel in. I'm not doing it. I don't think the towel should have been thrown in to begin with.
I don't know. I thought Commey was really hurt in that seventh round. I thought he did come out in the eighth, surprisingly stable. You're right about that, James. But yeah, I thought it shouldn't have continued after that seventh round. There was no way that Commey was going to win that fight after that. There's just no way. He pretty much lost every round up until then, for the most part. He doesn't have the knockout power. Loma knows he can hurt him.
Oh, Commey has knockout power. He's
not going to knock out Loma, as I'm saying. It's not going to happen. That's just what Loma's only been knocked down once. Well, zero if you ask James, but for sure at least once that we've seen.
Hey man, just because you haven't been knocked down doesn't mean you can't get knocked down.
See, now I flipped you over to Rich's side there.
You can't flip over to no side, man. It's reality. It is reality.
I didn't think Commey had enough left to actually do anything to Loma after that one, and I felt like Loma was not being a jerk. He didn't want to hurt him, is what I saw. Personally, that's what I thought. It was a lot of respect. That's what I thought. I didn't think he was trying to disrespect Commey at all. That's what I saw.
Well, Rich obviously
Rich
on vacation. He doesn't know what's going
on. Well, Filthy Rich, thanks for calling in. If you want, you can stick around and do our brews and previews, or if you are going back to the beach with your umbrella drink, you can do that too.
You guys are wrong.
Well, then I could say this. I'm done with it. All right, that's it with the brews and reviews. Let's move on to brews and previews. Brews and previews time. Filthy Rich is sticking around on his call, and thank you, Filthy Rich, because he wants to talk a little bit about some of these fights coming up Friday and Saturday. It's a nice little weekend of fighting coming up here. First one, we now have another Soviet Russia fight, but it's in Canada. It's Artur Beterbiev versus my guy, Marcus Browne.
Oh God.
What do you guys what do you guys think about Artur Beterbiev versus Marcus Browne? We will start with let's start with James because he's on camera here. On what do you think about Beterbiev versus Marcus Browne?
Right, first dibs for people who show up on the TV,
God,
right?
Dibs.
Throw it to me
Right.
next.
No, not happening. Anyway, all right. Yeah, Beterbiev versus Browne. Well, definitely not the fight that I thought was going to happen for Beterbiev. However, he's still got to stay active, still got to be there. I'll take it. Beterbiev is probably gonna destroy Browne, to be honest. I don't think he's going to be able to do much. I don't think Browne's going to be able to do much. Beterbiev is just a machine, and you can't break a machine. So he's Browne's got one loss. Beterbiev is 0 losses because he's just that good. I think he's just going to walk through this. I don't think there's anyone really in this division that's going to cause Beterbiev too many problems. The only thing that's going to catch Beterbiev is going to be Father Time, to be 100% honest. Marcus Browne is the taller fighter, the younger fighter, has the reach advantage, but unless because he's a southpaw that gives Beterbiev some issues, I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. I think this is going to be probably be a fairly action-packed fight. But Beterbiev will probably dominate as he usually does.
Filthy Rich, you have anything to add?
God, I mean, like, I basically agree. I guess we're not going to run predictions right now, but like, I agree with James. I think this is going to be pretty one-sided. I think he's going to hurt Marcus Browne. I think Marcus Browne recently said that he believes he can win, and good for him. I guess he has.
You better believe it.
But if there's anything I do want to add, this is something I don't think I've touched on with like almost anybody, but I draw like the same line connected with like Golovkin. I feel like this dude is going to stay at 175. Beterbiev will stay at 175 his entire career and just plow through anybody in his way. I'd like to see him move up. I don't think moving up is the solution here. I think he needs to just stay at 175, stay dominant. And there's no real matchup. Bivol was a matchup maybe last year. I don't think Bivol can beat Beterbiev. I think this Beterbiev, this is his division. And in a few years, I mean, he's pushing up there in age, but in a few years, we might have to think of him as one of the greatest light heavyweight champions of all time.
Canelo's going to have to try to beat him at some point if he wants that king of that division. Odds are minus 965 for Beterbiev. Marcus Browne comes in at a 6-1 underdog. It's prediction time. What do you guys think? James, we'll start with you. You get to go first.
Oh, I think Beterbiev will. This is going to be weird for me because usually I don't go this quick. I think Beterbiev is going to drop him in 5.
5. Over under is 8.5 rounds, by the way. So James is taking the under in Beterbiev. What do you think, Filthy Rich?
I see this as an Alexander Vazik thing where he's just gonna pound the body for like 11 rounds. I think Marcus Browne's not going to be able to continue. So I think late in the 11th.
TKO in the 11th. I'm going to take a Artur Beterbiev TKO in the 9th. That's what I'm going to take, the 9th. Just in the over, barely in the over. So go ahead with those ones. All right, next fight that we got. That's on Friday, by the way, on the Zone. So you got that going for you, which is nice. Next one, we got some heavyweights coming up. Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora. Don't know if Chisora is going to wear the face paint, the Joker face paint, the weigh-ins, but why not? Why not? What do you think of this one, Filthy Rich? We'll start with you. This is probably the closest fight of the weekend, best fight coming up on the weekend. So what do you think?
You said this one's on DAZN, right? The last fight's on ESPN.
No, Beterbiev's on DAZN.
No, Beterbiev's on ESPN.
I'm looking right at it. Artur Beterbiev, Marcus Browne on DAZN.
I will fact check. You guys keep going.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're
you might
right.
be right.
Wait, you are right. No, it's on ESPN Plus now. Sorry.
Hey, can you drink to me since I have no drinks? Anyways,
Drink
I
to you on
will.
that one.
look,
Sorry, it's on the
look, you
DAZN
guys-
page. That's why I was looking at it.
okay, so here, you guys gave me a hard time for Joseph Parker a while back, and I think you guys are finally coming to my end of the circle if the circle has an end. Here's the thing with Joseph Parker. I don't think he's an elite heavyweight anymore. I think this is, the term tune-up fight comes to mind. I don't think this is a tune-up fight either. I guess I shouldn't say the prediction, but I don't know what Derek Chisora's got to be pushing 40-something years old. I think this is a payday fight for Chisora, who wants the fight to retire him. This should be an easy one for Joseph Parker, just to try to make a name for himself again.
All right, well, I got to call Filthy Rich out here. I'm going to call him out right now because he just said, you guys don't know what to talk, or you guys don't give Joseph Parker the respect. I just went back to the heavyweight rankings here in February that we had. I had Joseph Parker at 6, or pardon me, at 5. James, you had him at 3, and Rich had him all the way down at 7. So I don't know who's not giving Joseph Parker the respect.
No. He didn't say he's not. No.
Thank you, James. Get him.
We were too high on Joseph Parker.
Oh, is that what he said?
We are now
I thought he
coming
said we weren't.
around.
I thought he said we
Joseph
weren't too
Parker
high
is
on Joseph
not
Parker.
elite. That is what we're talking about.
I thought he said we weren't
James,
too
I'll
high
drink
on
to
Joseph.
you.
I thought he said we weren't too high on Joseph Parker. I apologize, Filthy Rich. I apologize.
Listen to you.
Yeah, I said I'm sorry. James, you have anything
Go ahead,
to add to
James.
this heavyweight battle?
Well, of course I do. I was going to touch base on what you just said. Yes, Rich. I had Joseph Parker. I think at one point, you said 3. I thought I had him at 2 at one point. Look, that was a couple years ago.
I just threw it off.
That was a poor.
That was in February.
That was a very poor. What is it? Review or whatever. I don't know, man. I made a bad choice. I thought he was better. He's not as good as I thought he was. And that's whatever. It is what it is, right? I accept it. Made a mistake. We're all human, right? Anyway. Chisora and Parker.
I'm a robot, bro.
Oh my God. Both you guys
Sorry.
can just, you know what, Rich? You're not having this hasn't been said in forever. He just said it earlier. I don't care. I'm done with both of you. All right. Anyway. Oh, we got to get back into that business. Anyway, Parker, Chisora. Chisora is old, 37 years old. He does have quite a few losses. You kept talking about the Joker. Well, one thing that he already had his little weigh-in, and he had tape on his mouth, and the tape on his mouth said something like Eddie, pay me now to talk, or something like that. Is the tape that he had on his mouth. So he didn't say anything, but that's what was on his mouth. This dude is a character, right?
I love him.
There's a fine line between like character and crazy. I think he might be skirting that crazy line, but either way, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. Obviously, we won't do the prediction part yet, but I definitely was a lot higher on Joseph Parker. I am not high on Joseph Parker anymore. I think that this is going to be a better fight. I'm not saying a prediction. I think it's going to be a better fight than I would have thought earlier in the year.
All right, now it's prediction time. The odds are Joseph Parker is a -250 favorite right now. Chisora, you're getting 2-1 plus 220 on it. No over under listed. We will go from there. James, you picked first last time, so Filthy Rich, your pick on the Joseph Parker Chisora fight.
I think Joseph Parker is the cleaner, better boxer. But I don't think he has the power to knock out Chisora. I'm going to take Joseph Parker on a landslide, unanimous decision.
All right. And then it would be my turn. I'm going to take Joseph Parker as well because I've always had him higher than Chisora, but I do love Chisora. I'm not saying that I don't love Chisora. I do like his antics. I do like everything about him, and I don't think you're going to knock him down or out. So I'm going to take Joseph Parker in a closer fight in a split decision, maybe a majority decision. Do I want majority decision? I'm going to go with majority decision. Yeah, I'm going to go on the limb that way. Majority decision. James, you're up.
Look, this is, if nobody knows, fight number 2, right? Chisora's last fight was against Joseph Parker. it was a split decision win for Joseph Parker.
Mhm.
This was in May of 2021.
Mhm.
I do not believe that Chisora is going to let this go to decision again. He is going to knock him out
Oh,
in
calling
10.
it. Well,
Parker
calling
is
the upset.
Parker is not going to make it this time. Chisora is going to put all of his 37 years of strength into this, and he is going to destroy his soul. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to be Chisora by a knockout in 10.
You heard it there, betting fans. James is picking the upset, Chisora by knockout. You get 2-1 off of that. I believe we watched that one on your deck. I believe that was a good fight, the Joseph Parker Chisora first one. I believe we watched it outside your house. But
couldn't tell. I got bad memory. I'm getting too old.
Yeah, well, that's all that Tecate you've been drinking. All right, the last one we got is Zurdo makes his return in the ring. Zurdo Ramirez versus Inoue Gonzalez. What do you think of this one? James, we'll start with you.
Well, this one's probably going to be, I think, probably fairly one-sided as well. Gonzalez is a little bit on the, on the end of the career. Technically, this is something weird. He hasn't fought in 4 years. So he is well outside of the comfort zone. He's kind of pulling the Chris Algieri right now. His last fight that he fought was against Alexander Godzvik, which ended up with a TKO loss. So interesting. He is Cuban. So, there is no their age. God knows how old he is. He's probably only 22. But I think this is it's still going to be, I think it'll be an action-packed fight, right? This is what Zurdo wants. Zurdo wants to become undefeated. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. I think it's a good test for Zurdo at this weight. However, given the inactivity of Gonzalez, it might be a little more lackluster than most have anticipated. But either way, stepping stone to get to one of the bigger names for Zurdo.
Filthy Rich, anything to add?
Yeah, Zurdo's already talking about fighting. I think it's Bivol. And a lesson we've learned not too long ago is with Lopez looking past his opponent. So Zurdo needs to focus on this guy in front of him. Gonzalez, I don't know who this guy is, but I'm not calling an upset here by any means, but focus on the guy in front of you. Stop running the mouth on your next guy because you may not get to that next guy. I don't know what the paper looks like. This should be an easy fight for Ramirez, but I don't know if I'm really sold with him at 175 still, but I don't know if this is a real test. So.
All right. Well, it's prediction time. What do you guys think of Zurdo versus Gonzalez? I will start this time because I'm the one. I'm going to take Zurdo by knockout. Not going to be lasting long. I'm going to take knockout in round 5. James, goes to you.
Interesting. I'm probably going to go a little higher than that. I think it's going to go till round 7 with Zurdo ending up being a knockout victory as well.
And Filthy Rich.
I think it's hard to knock these Cubans out. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to go 12 rounds. I think it's probably going to be a lot closer than the judges make it look. I think they're going to protect Zurdo's undefeated record, and they're going to give Zurdo the nod. It's going to be a close decision, but Zurdo by decision.
All right, Zurdo by decision. All right, those are our choices this week. So make sure you go ahead and bet on it. James, you're the only one who went on a limb with a long shot underdog. So good luck to you. Chisora, you said, is going to own his soul. Those 2 fights are on Saturday, and the Beterbiev fight is on Friday. Check your local listing. All right, that's it for Brews and Previews. We might as well hit the end of the show here. Filthy Rich, you sticking around for the end of the show?
I got to get out of here.
All right, well,
fun. I'll drink to
thanks
you.
for calling in, buddy, and you enjoy your vacation. Merry Christmas to you, and happy holidays and all that. Happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, all that stuff to you, buddy.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Cheers. All right, and let's move on to the outro there, buddy. All right, that's our show this week. Thank you for joining in here, guys. Really appreciate it. Please, if you haven't for some reason, click that subscribe button. Tell your friends to click the subscribe button and click that bell so you know when each show comes out. we try to post it on our Facebook page and all that stuff as well. But you don't want to miss it each week, so make sure you do that. And since Filthy Rich ain't here, I'm going to take the Filthy Minute one last time. I want to give a quick shout out to friend of the show, Ryan Hype. It was his birthday yesterday on Wednesday. I think he's now 72 or 73 years old, something like that. And then he's still rocking and rolling like Alice Cooper on the stage. So happy birthday to you, brother. And that's pretty much all I got. Go Vikings, I guess, this weekend, this Monday. James, you and me are in the fantasy playoffs. We need the Vikings to dominate on Monday to keep our playoff hopes alive. And you need to win so you don't have to wear a dress. But it is what it is. All right. So that's our show this week. James, if they're listening to us, where can they watch us? If they're watching us, where can they listen to us?
Well, if they're listening to us and want to watch us, you can go to YouTube/Brews and Boxing. If you are watching us and want to listen to the podcast, you can go to any major podcast site and type in Brews and Boxing, BREWSAND Boxing, and check us out there.
Absolutely. All right. For Filthy Rich, who's now on vacation, and for Judge Jimmy James, I'm Raider Live. We are off next week for the holidays. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Be safe. I know there's a lot of weird weather going on right there. We had a tornado here in Minnesota where we filmed the show in December yesterday. That's weird. So all our good vibes out to the people down in the Midwest there that have been hit by the tornadoes. Hope everyone is safe and healthy for the holidays. We love you. Thank you very much for joining in, and we will see you guys in next year. I think. Yeah.